This hangout on air is live.
Okay. Now, I see you. Hey.
Greetings, greetings.
Do you see me? Go ahead and speak.
Greetings.
We can hear you loud and clear.
What you got there?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing there, Brad?
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to hang up on the phone and we'll get started.
Good.
All right, Coach. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I know we're running late. To anybody that's watching this webinar, apologize for the technical difficulty. We're just getting used to this system. So we're excited to be up and running live. We are running behind, but this is going to be recorded, and we will send the link out for you to watch or let your teams as well see this webinar. But thank you for taking the time to come on here. I know it's late. It's about 9:40 p.m. here on the East Coast, and really excited to be able to kind of take a few minutes and talk about a really important topic. You know, something that you know, really has a lot of you know, it has a lot of stuff you have to really, you know, understand, you know, in building this business. And I think the topic really that Coach Proctor and I talked about today was really, you know, something he said so well was discouragement. You know, maybe your webinar and you're at a point in your business where maybe a little frustrated or not where you want to be or a little bit discouraged. And so some of the things I want to talk about just before I kick off and give it to my mentor, you know, Coach Bob Proctor. You know, in this YPR movement, in this company, you know, in VEMA, you know, really the focus, I believe, you know, to really get your business on the right track is not only structure and a system, but a philosophy and understanding of what we're here to do. And I think you need to understand the industry, you need to understand your company, your products, but you got to really understand you. And I think, you know, nobody better, you know, to do that, to really talk about that than Mr. Bob Proctor. And a couple of things I really want to, you know, just shed light on, because, you know, right now you guys are an amazing point in time what we're doing here with this company, with this opportunity. You know, we're growing, you know, worldwide at a large scale, and we want to talk about building a sustainable business with VEMA, you know, something long-term that's going to last. And I think that the one thing that, you know, we've got to really do is take this business, you know, professional and really treat it like a business. And I think, you know, along the way, you know, you can get so distracted, you can have so many things, you know, really knock you off track, you know, as you're building. And that's, you know, it's something that we need to talk about, you know, to really, you know, continue this journey, to continue on the right track, you know, to really reach your goals. And so that's really what I wanted to really, you know, dive into today. Hopefully, you know, we'll continue these webinars and you know, expand on these topics. But Coach, maybe you can kind of take some thoughts here. You know, we were talking earlier kind of about where, you know, we are as a unit, as a movement, as a company. Great things are happening, but I know some people out there are a little bit frustrated. Maybe they're a little bit, you know, discouraged. You talked about earlier, just sometimes that is just a lack of experience. But I think truly that some of the people, you know, in this business have gotten away from, you know, really what matters, and a lot of that is, number one, keeping it realistic for the newest person when they're hearing about this company, this product, you know, and you know, not only providing value, you know, in the product and the opportunity, but something that's realistic. And really emphasizing, you know, that, you know, if you're not where you want to be, there's a solution, you know, and I think that's really the biggest thing that we need to take away from tonight. And a lot of that, you know, really comes around, maybe if you're discouraged, you know, it's the experience factor that you haven't been through. You know, I've had, you know, a lot of differences in this business, which truly I can say is probably, if not the main reason for my, you know, success in this business, being able to fight through and have a breakthrough. So hopefully maybe you can take some thoughts on that, Coach, really quick. You know, just kind of, you know, on, like we talked about earlier, if you're not where you want to be, you know, really what structure and you know, what are you putting into the business, what environment are you building for your team and for the newest people? But I think that getting discouraged can easily happen to many of us.
I think what you've got to do, I think you've got to look at a couple of things. If you're going to be in network marketing, there's a set of rules that have to be followed. And if you follow those rules, you can build something fairly quickly that's very sustainable, and you can earn an excellent income. Now, if you don't route and you go a conventional route, you're probably going to earn a wage, and you would take a number of years to get yourself into a half-decent position, and you may never earn real big money. And someone else is always going to be in charge of how much you're earning. So, to me, the question isn't which way you're going to go. The question is, are you going to follow the rules? Now, in network marketing, what you've got some excellent examples. First of all, in Brad and his family, in Tom and Bethany Alkazin. These people really have demonstrated by results they know what they're doing. See, there's one thing that always tells the truth, and that's results. Results never lie. A long time ago, we heard the great teacher tell us, by their fruit you'll know them. What does that mean? Well, you can tell what kind of a tree it is by the results the tree's giving you, by the fruit it bears. And it's exactly the same with people. It's the results you get. Now, a lot of people came into Vima, and they thought the idea was just go out and get somebody else into Vima, go out and get somebody else into Vima. Well, there's more to it than that. You've got to help that person build some kind of a foundation. And a number of them didn't build a foundation, and all of a sudden a bunch of people quit and they don't have a business. What you have to do is take a look at the people you've brought into the business and ask yourself, which one do I think has the most leadership qualities or the greatest leadership qualities? And then make up your mind you're going to work with that person and get that person to the next pin level. And when you're doing that, getting them to the next pin level, you're laying a foundation. Like it would be very hard for Brad Alkazin or Tom Alkazin's business to fold. It would be very difficult. It would be very difficult for Alex Morton's business to fold. They built some stability to it. They took a group of people and then they helped them build themselves to a pin level. And that's really what you've got to do. Build leadership. So I think you're going to find that the training from this point on is really going to be on building leadership. And as a leader, you've got to pick the people that you believe show the most promise. And then you've got to encourage them to hang in there and build something. Now, it may not be easy, but over a short period of time, it'll get easy, and you're going to build something with some strength. Now, I've been around the park for a long, long time. I was 80 years old on the 5th of July, so I've seen a lot of business come and go, and I've seen a lot of people really make things happen, and I've seen a lot of people that never make things happen. And there's a very small percentage of the population that really make it big. You've got the opportunity here. You've got a great company. I have known B.K. Barico since he was a very young guy. I knew his parents. This is a solid company. You've got a great product. You've got a real solid product. And you've got a good executive team in the Vima head office. So if you take a look at it from where the company is, you've got real good solid leadership there. And then from the product, you've got a great product. It's been tested by, well, it's been tested by some of the best in the world. And it comes out on top. The trick is now, let's pick the people that you've got in your organization that show the most promise and get a hold of them and work with them to get to the next pin level. Help them solidify their business. Help them lay a foundation. It's not to bring more people in. You've got to keep recruiting people. But when you bring them in, you have to help them understand that they have to build a foundation. They've got to get the auto ship going. They've got to get people on auto ship. So, I mean, there's a number of things there that Brad talks about, that Alec talks about, that Tom talks about. My wife's in the business. I hear her talking about it, and I work with over the place. I've been around since network marketing began. It was about 50 years ago it started, a little over 50 years ago. So I've watched them all. You've got a phenomenal opportunity here. Now, no one pays me to come on here. If you phone my company to hire me, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Why do I come on here? Why am I coming on here with Brad? Because I really believe in this company. I believe in the leadership of the company, and I believe in the opportunity that you've got staring you in the face. I had somebody offer me an opportunity when I was 26 years old. My income was $4,000 a year. A year later, I was earning 175, and then I took it over $1 million. And so I started studying this. I started to study successful people. I started to study opportunities. This is one of the best opportunities you're going to find. I've been studying it for a long time. You can look around and you can hop around. Somebody else will say, here's a better one here and here's a better one here. You're not going to find anything. You might find something equally as good, but you're not going to find anything better than this. And you won't find anywhere where you've got an upline as solid as this group is. Now, I've been working for Brad and his family. Well, I've known his dad for, God, I don't know, 25, 30 years. They're solid people. And if you will do exactly what they tell you, you're going to find in a relatively short period of time, you're going to have one heck of a nice income, and your business is going to start. But it doesn't happen by accident. You've got to pick out the people that you think in your organization show some promise. Get with them, get on the phone, get on Skype with them one-on-one, and then get them to lay down a strategy of who in their organization they can get to the next pin level. It's always move them to the next pin level. You've got to keep people moving ahead. If you're going to build a solid foundation, you've got to help them earn more money. Now, Brad, if you want to kick in here.
Well, Coach, thanks for those insights. And, you hit it on the head. I think, so many people take their eye off the prize or off the ball, and they're focused on their cycles, or they're focused on, maybe, they're focused on these other variables, that really are not important. And I think you said it earlier on the phone today that, if you're discouraged or you're not where you want to be, or anything, where you are in today, remember that, basically, experience is a under point, I think, here tonight, that you've got to.
Now, let me add something there, Brad. When you get a little discouraged, you're very open to almost any suggestion that comes down the road. And you're going to find that 3% of the population are winning. That would mean 97%, they may not be going anywhere. And you're going to find, when you're discouraged, you're going to find people, you'll attract people that say, I'd get out of that, I would give that up, I wouldn't do that. And ask yourself, are these people really qualified to be giving me advice? And most of them are not qualified. If you're going to get advice, get it from someone that's demonstrated by results they know what they're doing. Alec Morton knows what he's doing. Brad Alkazin knows what he's doing. Tom Alkazin knows what he's doing. These people are doing the job. Now, you're going to find companies change. You're going to find the marketplaces change. One of the laws of the animal kingdom, of which we're a part, is adapt or die. You've got to adapt to the change. You've got to shuffle a little and then keep on going. You don't whine. You don't complain. You adapt to the change. Now, Vima's going through a bit of a change, and that's good. You got to get rid of all the chaff before you can get the solid ones and then get moving again. That's what's good about hurricanes and tornadoes. It blows away all the bad stuff. The solid stuff stays there and then keeps on going. So if you're going to accept advice or get advice, get it from somebody that is demonstrated by results. They know what they're doing. Now, the young guy that I'm working with here, Brad Alkazin, this guy has demonstrated by results he knows what he's doing. He earns more money than 99% of the population there. He's working with you. Follow his advice and don't listen to a lot of the people letting you, it's time to cash this in. This isn't going anywhere. It never goes anywhere. People go somewhere. So you've got to make up your mind. You're going to adapt to the changes that are taking place, and then you're going to get out there and get rocking. That's the way it works.
And Coach, I love what you said before about, make a calendar, a sheet with, lines in it, and make sure that every day you put an X, that you're getting someone new on the product or hearing about the opportunity, because I think that's where some of the people here are stuck. One of these young guys I'm with today said something so well. He says, Brad, people confuse part-time, they confuse with sometimes. And I didn't understand what he meant, but he says, they say a penny doubled a day for 31 days is like $5 million. So if you doubled a penny every day, then after 30 days, it'll be that number. But some people are building this business sometimes, not part-time, and therefore they find themselves, doubling that penny every other day. And he did the math. He said if you doubled the penny every other day after 30 days, it's $130 or something like $137. So the point in saying that is, I think what you hit it on the head tonight about is the experience of building people, the experience of building a team, the experience of building your story. I think from that point, consistency is what you're saying, and I think you said it. If you're discouraged, it's a lot of those factors that you have to get out there and have a breakthrough. And I think that really will.
I heard BK talking about this idea of consistency, and I grabbed onto it because it's very, very good. He was talking about Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld is one of the most successful comedians of all time. In 1 year, he earned $289 million. And he was being interviewed, and somebody asked him, who writes material? He said, I write my material. They said, well, how often do you write? He said, I write every day. He said, I've got a calendar. And every day, after I write, I put an X on the day. And he said, I don't want there to be any spaces. I want every day to have an X on it. He said, I write every day. You've got to work with your people every day, not just some days. You got to work with them every day. And you do that for a period of time, you're going to have a very solid organization. Now, I learned that a long time ago. Consistency to success. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be positive. It's got to happen every day, every day, every day. Focus on the leaders. Help them build an organization. Help them get their next person to a pin level. And you keep doing this, understand it's all built under you. They just keep raising you higher and higher and higher, and your income just keeps going up. It's pretty simple, but you got to stay with it.
Well, Coach, we have taken your time, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing these insights. So many millions around the world look up to you in your knowledge and wisdom. Reading your book, your new book here. Been diving in, and I've been reading on this chapter that made so much sense to me, and it was on this one word we're talking about tonight. And really, I think that is, right here, experience, page 91 in the book, in the index. And I think the experience factor is what everybody needs to take away from tonight. And the experience that you need to have a schedule, a structure and strategy to your business. Find out how many small events are going on in your team, in your area, in your business. Increase that number by one more every day. If you had 3 events in your team tonight, great. Tomorrow, let's do 4. Get the newest person started, and get that experience, time going, under their belt. And then again, like you said, Coach, getting those new people to the first rank or the next rank. So with that,
another key, Brad, is if you can't get to an event, Skype into the event. But be in the event. Get there live as much as you can and Skype into them. But the trick is help them build their organization. And you got to do it every day. It's consistent. That's the way it is.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking on. Maybe now that we know the system, we can do these a little bit more, I think down the road. And great to see you. You look great. And I wish you a good evening, and thank you for all that came on tonight, and hopefully you got some great information on this YPR webinar. Thanks again, Coach. You guys
Okay.
have a great evening. We'll be back soon. Bye for now.
I know.